Okay, welcome back. This is the second half of solving quadratic equations. What I want to talk about is how many solutions you can sometimes get. When you have a quadratic of a simple form, you can see in the last videos that every single one of our problems had two real solutions. While sometimes quadratic equations can have just one solution, sometimes they can have no real solution whatsoever. To find this out, you need to just look at the graph. That is, where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, so let's move this out of the way a little bit here. And let's look at something like, how about a simple one like x squared equals 36. If you're thinking graphically, one side, this x squared, this guy right here, he is a parabola crosses at 0, 0, and it goes up. If you think about the right side, this is technically, well, let me right off to the side here. You could basically think of as one function being y equals x squared, and another function that would be y equals 36. Now y equals 36 is a horizontal line that crosses right here. Here's your y equals 36 function, and this is your y equals x squared function. Now you can see that it crosses here and here. Do you know what the value of those 2 points are? Well, if you solve x squared equals 36 and you take the square root of both sides, you can see that x is equal to plus and minus 6. And that would be these locations right here. This would be your positive 6. This would be your negative 6. Don't quite understand? Let's take a look at another one. How about if I had something like x squared minus 12 equals 6. If you just thought about the first side, the left side of being y equals x squared minus 12, and the other side being y equals 6. Well, based on previous videos and previous lessons and homework assignments, you know that y equals x squared minus 12 is really a parabola that opens way down like this, right? And y equals 6 would be a horizontal line that looks like this. So this comes in contact in two locations. So this has two real solutions. Then you have another one. How about x squared minus 15 equals 15? Here you have y equals x squared minus 15 for y1 and y equals 15 for y2. If you were to graph this, you would know that this particular parabola crosses down here. And it looks something like this. And y equals 15 crosses right here. It's a horizontal line. So you see that this has two solutions. Now, some more simple ones. If you had something like x squared minus 4 equals 0. X squared minus 4 equals 0. If you just think of y as being x squared minus 4 and the other y as being 0, you can see here that this has a y-intercept of 0, negative 4, and it comes in contact with the horizontal axis here and here. If you were to solve this, this is x squared minus 4 equals 0, and then you add 4 to both sides, and then you take the square root of both sides, and you see that x is plus and minus 2. Maybe this one is not so straightforward. X squared equals 0. Well, if you solve this and you took the square root of x squared, you'd say x is equal to 0. If you solve the graph, you got y equals x squared, and you got y equals 0. Well, here's your y equals x squared line. Y equals 0 is the horizontal. They touch in just one spot, and one spot only. If you come over and look at this one, you got y you got x squared plus 4 equals 0. If we think about this graphically, you got y equals x squared plus 4, and you have y equals 0. So if you put this in your graph, y equals x squared plus 4, that has something that looks like this, right? That's the y-intercept. And then y equals 0, that's the horizontal line. They have no intersection. So this means it has no solution. If you went ahead and tried to solve x squared plus 4 equals 0, you would subtract 4, you subtract 4, you have x squared equals negative 4, and go ahead and try to take the square root of a negative number. This does not exist. Okay, you cannot do that. So realistically, you just need to see and understand the graph of it. So majority of the time you're going to have two solutions. Sometimes you have just one solution, and sometimes you have 0 solutions. So I hope this clarifies a few things. I know I went a little bit quick. Go ahead and rewind the video and look at it 1, 2, 3, or 4,000 times. See you tomorrow. Hopefully you had a nice day and enjoyed the video, and may the force be with you.